Treasury have told me they haven't finalised their advice on the economic impact of the virus. They say there's considerable uncertainty around what exactly that impact will be. The message is very clear. The impact will be more significant than the bushfires, and it plays out more broadly across the Australian economy.
So the Treasurer setting the scene and setting expectations ahead of the May budget, which they've been saying for a long time would have a surplus. Now there is a big question mark over that. And on that issue, Andrew Clennell spoke to the Prime Minister at that news conference.
Do you believe Australians will forgive you on this occasion if you don't deliver the surplus, given the situation with the coronavirus?
Andrew, it's not my job to speculate on that, as I've said. I don't think that's helpful. What the Australian people are looking for as we deal with this crisis, as we've dealt with many others in recent times, is just the calm, measured, information, fact-based approach. Australia would not have been as well prepared for dealing with these series of crises that we have been dealing with now for months, were it not for the calm, sober and methodical financial discipline that we have put in place over the last 6 years. We didn't rush to any panic solutions or panicked options. I remember last year, people last year, in October, in August, in September, telling us to splash money around on goodness knows what. We kept our heads at that point, and we've kept our heads as we're continuing to move through these crises now.
So the Prime Minister is saying it was the discipline, the economic discipline, that's put them in a position to respond to these economic shocks, but didn't go specifically to the issue that you raised and the fact that they look like they're not going to get to the surplus now, as you suggested a few weeks ago now.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? We did suggest that was looking on the cards after the fires and after the coronavirus. Everything about that news conference, Kieran, said to me there is no surplus in 1920, that they've given up on it. Now, Josh Frydenberg did say we're still waiting for some economic data in relation to this, which sounds like it's coming very soon to really prove to him what's going on. But they seem very pessimistic. They seem to be laying the political groundwork for a balanced or a small deficit budget. And I think Scott Morrison even had the line there that who would have predicted last May that we'd have this virus, this coronavirus, where, you know, tourism suffering, education suffering, now the supply chain's affected. So I think, you know, this was the firmest indication. We outlined it a few weeks ago that there will not be a surplus, and he will cop some political flack for that. But as he kind of alluded to, he has a reasonable excuse.
And when it comes to copping flack, obviously Labor is not accepting the reasons that the government is giving for the weak economy. In fact, Jim Chalmers, the Shadow Treasurer, says the signs of the weak economy were here well before coronavirus.
Why won't the Treasurer admit that since he took over, economic growth has almost halved, wages growth has stalled, consumption growth has weakened, business investment and productivity have declined, underemployment has increased, government debt and household debt have reached new record highs, and that all of this happened before the fires and the coronavirus hit?
Where's the member for Rankin when you need a hug in this place, Mr Speaker? Where is the member for Rankin now? These are the facts, Mr Speaker. When Labor was last in office, unemployment was 5.7%, Mr Speaker.
Treasurer, responding to that, but you know that Jim Chalmers will continue that message all the way to budget night and beyond if they don't get to that surplus which has been promised for months. But as the Treasurer, the Prime Minister rightly point out as well, and this is going to be the political argument, that no one would have predicted that coronavirus would be here 12 months ago.
Yeah, that's right. And in the mid-year review, they revised it from 7 to 5. Well, it's not hard to get rid of 5 with all this going on, is there? So that will be the political battle budget night. And Frydenberg, if they don't produce a surplus, will be asked time and time again about that. And he will say these are exceptional circumstances.